Topping our news in this hour, the investigation continues into a boat fire at Buena Vista Lake that left 4 adults and 4 kids with injuries. County Fire called out to the fueling station at the lake just before 9:30 Sunday morning. They found 8 victims with burns that ranged in severity. 1 adult and 1 child had to be airlifted to the hospital, while the other 6 were transported by ground ambulance. Officials have not confirmed the extent of the injuries, but did say no one, thankfully, was killed. We'll update this story as we get new information to our social media platforms.
A Los Angeles sheriff's deputy who said he was shot by a sniper is now admitting to making up the whole story. The incident took place in Lancaster last Wednesday when the officer said he was shot. The sheriff's department said the incident was targeting a deputy, so the mayor described the shooter as a sniper. But now, LA County Sheriff's investigators say Deputy Reynosa made it all up.
Angel Reynosa admitted that he was not shot at. He also told investigators that he had caused the holes in his uniform shirt by cutting it with a knife. There was no sniper, no shots fired, and no gunshot injury sustained to his shoulder. Completely fabricated.
Reynosa is being relieved of his duties, and a criminal investigation into the incident is ongoing.
The countdown is on as crews race to finish a brand new home for a Bakersfield family. It's all part of a future episode of HGTV's Extreme Makeover Home Edition. 23 ABC's Austin Westfall visited the site to see how the project's coming along.
You know, we're a couple hours behind, to be totally honest. This heat is brutal, and we've just got a house that's getting bigger by the day. So, luckily, we haven't had any major issues or anything like that.
Valley Nemitz is with John Balfan's Homes, the general contractor for the Extreme Makeover. She says the team working on the house has worked together well, but they still need more local volunteers.
Specifically, we need finished carpenters and painters. So we're kind of at a point where we've got a lot of detail that needs to go in. We still need the baseboards installed. We still need our cabinets installed.
Crews completely leveled this house on Thursday and are building it from the ground up with nothing but help from volunteers. Many from local businesses working around the clock, free of charge.
Because normally a house like that might take, 6 months or longer. And to try to do that all in 7 days is incredible. I'm an interior designer, so I do a lot of project management, and so I know all of what's going on in there, and it's a big deal.
The person chosen for the Extreme Makeover is Jessica Mosley, who officials say is a social worker and single mom with 2 biological kids. That was until she came upon 3 more kids who were in and out of foster homes.
And really kind of after their last failed adoption, they weren't able to be placed, and so she said, you know what, these kids are not going back into the system, they're coming home with me, and she took those 3 kids in and adopted them.
Nemitz says the Mosley family is in store for some pretty big surprises once they see their brand new home.
There's so many fun things that we can't show you until it's aired next year.
Austin Westfall, 23 ABC, connecting you.
And Extreme Makeover is inviting the public to attend the big unveiling of the home on Wednesday. There you can see the show's new host, Jesse Tyler Ferguson, screaming, "Move that bus" with the eager Mosley family. You can head to turnto23.com for more details.
A new physical therapy in town focuses on biohacking to help you get stronger.
Your internal computer, is that what this is, I guess? 23 ABC's Daniela Garrido joining us live this morning to show us how this whole thing works. Daniela.
So if you've ever wondered what biohacking is, now you can do it right here in Bakersfield. We are at OsteoStrong, and they focus on biohacking to make you a little bit stronger. So we're going to bring in Vikram Deal over here, and you are the owner. What is biohacking?
So biohacking is really just using your body and technology to get the maximum results in the shortest period of time.
And you said that your clients have gained so much strength. These are just a couple of them, I'm sure. And tell us a little bit, what do they look forward to when they come here? What are they expecting?
So a lot of them don't know what to expect because it's a lot of new technology. So we're able to increase people's strength. Our top members up 400% in 6 months. So we're increase people's strength. We're able to increase people's vitality, energy, balance, really in just about 15 minutes a week.
Great. So we're going to try to do it in about 30 seconds.
All right,
so we're going to come on over here. And you said that this is one of the more important machines. So tell us what we're doing.
Sure. So this machine right here is important because your lower hips, for people, hips are really important, and there's a mortality rate if you break a hip. So this actually can reproduce hip bones from your lower body. And so what we're going to do is here, I'm actually going to have you stick your feet up a little bit higher. And we actually measure you out to put you in the safest. Do you want me to hold this while you do this?
No, it's okay.
Okay. So what you do is you just want to think about pushing away from the machine. So look forward.
Okay.
And go ahead and just push away, and you'll actually see the biofeedback.
Oh, I thought this was going to go back, but I guess it doesn't.
Yeah, so we're actually compressing your body with force. So go ahead and release for me. So we're actually compressing your body. So we're actually bending the bones to get you to strengthen the body and strengthen the bones.
That's great. This is like a gym workout, but you don't go all the way back. It just recognizes how much you're pushing, I guess.
It measures your efforts, right? So this is 339 pounds of force on your lower body.
339 pounds.
Yeah, pretty tough. And so we do this machine, and then we go through our other machines. But this one right here, again, it's really important because if you have issues, you actually strengthen your hips.
Great. Thank you so much. So stick with us this morning. We'll be showing you a little bit more of the other technology that's used to gain that muscle, and it's all part of biohacking. So for now, we're live in Bakersfield. Danielle Garrido, 23 ABC News, connecting you.
Hundreds of Uber and Lyft drivers are stopping in Delano this afternoon as part of a 3-day motor pilgrimage from Los Angeles to Sacramento in support of union rights for rideshare drivers. The drivers are drawing their inspiration from a 1966 protest on behalf of farm workers. This afternoon at 2 p.m., the drivers are making a symbolic stop at Our Lady of Guadalupe Church to meet with United Farm Workers members. The drivers are making this trip to highlight problems they face, including long hours, the lack of basic workplace protections, and the inability of workers to unionize.
Pizza with a purpose, a fundraiser being held to raise money for the CHP officer killed in the line of duty. California Pizza Kitchen is hosting the fundraiser all day tomorrow for CHP officer Andre Moy Jr. He was shot and killed, if you remember, during a traffic stop in Riverside earlier this month. You can head to any CPK around the state, and 20% of your purchase will go to the family of that officer. All you have to do is show your server the flyer seen right there to help out the family. Now, you can find that flyer on our website, turnto23.com. There is, of course, California Pizza Kitchen on Stockdale Highway in Bakersfield.
The Kern County Board of Supervisors will kick off the official budget hearings at their upcoming meeting. The meetings of the board is set for tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Supervisors will hear the recommended budget for the 2019-2020 fiscal year. The county administrative officer, who's charged with putting together the yearly budget, has recommended that the board approve and adopt the budget. Due to the hearings, there will not be a Board of Supervisors afternoon session tomorrow. Let's bring in Chief Meteorologist Elena Rusk. Take a look at our weather headlines today.
Headlines looking, unfortunately, not so great. We have that heat wave number 5 continuing. It's been 3 days of 100s already, 3 more to go. Widespread 100s for the valley and all of the desert, too, with 90s for many of our mountain locations. This bad air quality lingers in the valley as well, remaining unhealthy for sensitive groups. And yeah, there are some high thin clouds coming through, but no relief from the heat. That extended forecast will stay above average right on through the weekend and into a week from today. That's Labor Day. So we have some high thin clouds coming through. It doesn't provide us any relief from that heat. No rain in those clouds either. Some 70s for the heart of the valley down into many desert cities. Still in the 80s for Mojave, Taft, and Maricopa. So in Bakersfield later today, 102 with those passing clouds, making it feel just a little bit muggy, but it's still a relatively dry pattern, and all of that haze on the horizon. Overnight tonight, briefly at 76, and then right back up tomorrow, hotter still at 103.
All right, still to come here at 5 o'clock. Fires still raging in the Amazon. Tell you how the Brazilian military is fighting the fires that are burning the world's largest rainforest.
And a re-election campaign being launched by a controversial law enforcement figure in Arizona. The man trying to get his old job back. Next on 23 ABC.
Welcome back. So it's not for another week, but we're going to have some big issues happening with 99 construction at Rosedale Highway. Let's go ahead and zoom you down to that area where you see that the highways for now on all of our city streets are running along smoothly. And originally this project was going to start today. It's now next Tuesday after Labor Day weekend. They're going to be closing down that northbound Rosedale Highway ramp for about 55 days. So it goes from September 3rd all the way until the end of October. As you remember, they were doing that huge southbound ramp. They made it huge. It was able to get everybody off. Now they're going to do that on the northbound side. So your detour will be to get off at California Avenue, go all the way up Oak Street, reconnect with Rosedale Highway, the 178 24th Street. So many different names here. And then you can get back on the highway from there.
Now to what's being called a global crisis, the massive fires sweeping across the Amazon.
Warplanes are now being used in this firefight as international pressure grows to protect the rainforest. ABC's Janae Norman has the latest.
This morning, the Amazon rainforest is on fire. 44,000 Brazilian troops have now been deployed to fight the fires, which cover an area the size of the U.S. from Detroit to Los Angeles. This video showing military planes dumping water out of two giant jets. Neighboring Bolivia is now using this American 747 supertanker, which carries 19,000 gallons of water. But those assets are minuscule given the scale of fires erupting across this region. In Brazil alone, about 80,000 fires have burned, many of them set by farmers to clear the land. The fires have leveled a record amount of rainforest where it's believed 20% of the world's oxygen is produced. On the front lines at one fire, twice the size of New Jersey, only 30 men are fighting the flames with no hoses, sometimes just kicking the fire. ABC's Matt Gutman is there.
The tools they have are pretty rudimentary. You can see they have these, they look like floor mats in cars, and they're using sticks to slap down the fire.
And then, through the smoke, this man appeared. He says he was first to report the fire and attacked it himself.
He's showing us how he was putting out fires.
The fire burning the shirt off his back, but he stayed on the front lines along with those weary firefighters. Meanwhile, thousands of Brazilians are now protesting their government's response to the fire, blaming President Bolsonaro for gutting environmental laws, encouraging the clearing of the land in the Amazon. At the G7 summit in France, global leaders are standing together, vowing to help Brazil confront this crisis. Janae Norman, ABC News, New York.
Meantime, on a smaller scale, a brush fire along the 134 freeway in Eagle Rock threatened homes and caused the closure of 2 freeways. The LA Fire Department and Glendale fire crews battling the blaze in tandem. The 134 and the 2 freeways were both shut down in both directions. Additional resources were called in to aid in structure protection. As you can see, smoke visible all over the area, even at Dodger Stadium. 100 homes had to be evacuated. Now, as of now, no fire-related injuries have been reported.
In Arizona, former Maricopa County Sheriff Joe Arpaio announced Sunday he wants his old job back 2 years after President Trump pardoned him. The 87-year-old Arpaio had been convicted on charges of criminal contempt for continuing to make immigration arrests after a court ordered him to stop. Arpaio was Maricopa County Sheriff for 24 years, from 1993 through 2016. The current sheriff, Paul Penzone, beat Arpaio in his bid for a 7th term. Penzone, a Democrat, is expected to run for re-election. Arpaio also ran for a U.S. Senate seat to represent Arizona last year, but lost in the Republican primary.
Conservative radio host and former Illinois Representative Joe Walsh will apparently challenge President Trump for the Republican presidential nomination in 2020. He made that announcement yesterday. Walsh last week published an op-ed in the New York Times where he apologized for helping to elect President Trump. In that article, he called the president, quote, an unfit con man who is bad for the country. Now, Walsh has a history of making headlines with incendiary remarks. When President Barack Obama was in office, he accused him of being Muslim and hating Israel, saying he only got elected because he was a, quote, black man who was articulate, unquote.
Confusion for a whole lot of British Airways travelers as pilots on the airline prepare for a strike next month. Late last week, the airline alerted flyers that their flights had been canceled. Hours later, British Airways reached out to a bunch of travelers saying that, in fact, their planes would be flying. But that was after some spent hundreds of dollars redoing their travel plans. Pilots will be striking for 3 separate days in September over a pay dispute. This is the first British Airlines pilot strike since the 1970s. We'll keep tracking that as it progresses. Let's get a quick check of your weather closer to home with Elena.
Yeah, still in those 80s out there for Taft and Maricopa, even down into Mojave, but 70s for the rest of the valley and down into many of our desert cities. 69 in Jawbone Canyon, 70s into the Kern River Valley, 60s in Tehachapi, still 71 in Lebec. And you see that white shading out there, something we haven't seen in quite a while under these sunny, stagnant conditions. That's some high thin cloud cover, and it's all coming through with what was once Tropical Storm Ivo. It's now a remnant low, so it no longer has a name, but that's what all this is a part of. I was showing you this in the Futurecast last week. And as expected, there is some rain in it. offshore. Nothing for us here at home. As we zoom down, you can see it's just been stretching up from the south. It'll continue to fall apart and spin harmlessly off to sea. So we only get these clouds for about the first half of the day, and then they're out of here. And that high pressure continues to dominate. So as it moves on shore tomorrow, we get hotter and hotter still. After 3 days of 100s, we have 3 more to go. But tomorrow's kind of the peak of it, from 102 today to 103. Ouch. Then Wednesday, 101. You see a slow fall to those upper 90s end of the week, right on into the first part of the holiday weekend. September begins Sunday. Labor Day is Monday, but you see another 100 trying to pop up out there. Now, today's 102. That's the 33rd day of 100s here in Bakersfield so far. It's also the 4th in this current heat wave. So that matches our average of 100s for the year. And as you see, we keep on going. Still some 100s possible into September. So a hotter than average summer is expected now in Bakersfield officially. Kern River Valley 98 today. Tomorrow 100. Ouch. In Tehachapi 89 today. And then some 90s popping up out there. For H Park, you're staying in the 80s. You have the most cloud cover out of everybody. But again, so warm and dry out there. Those sprinkles are evaporating.
Thank you, Elena. Still to come, a little surprise news out of the NFL. Plus, we'll tell you how one local high school opened the season with an emotional ceremony. Sports is next. Welcome back. It is 5:23. The first weekend of high school football's in the books. We'll take a look back at the best plays and the ceremony that one school had to honor their biggest fan. 23 ABC's Matt Lively has that in your morning sports wrap.
Welcome into 23 ABC Sports. I'm Matt Lively, one of the NFL's best talents since sports fans into a frenzy on Saturday with the announcement of his retirement. Andrew Luck, at age 29, has decided to leave the game of football. Injuries have sidelined the former #1 overall pick and, in his words, taken the love of the game away from him. The 4-time Pro Bowler and 2018 Comeback Player of the Year played 6 seasons but nursed shoulder, kidney, and rib injuries, which sidelined him all of 2017. His announcement comes just 2 weeks before the regular season begins.
I've been stuck in this process. I haven't been able to live the life I want to live, taking the joy out of this game. And after 2016, where I played in pain and was unable to regularly practice, I made a vow to myself that I would not go down that path again. I find myself in a similar situation, and the only way forward for me is to remove myself from football in this cycle that I've been in.
Here's something pretty special that came out of the Andrew Luck news. Independence High School football coach Tyler Schilhabel shared this tweet Sunday morning. Pictured as Luck and Jim Harbaugh with Schilhabel after an ATV accident left him paralyzed in 2010. Schilhabel wrote that the game sure does bring a lot of healing, and I'm sure he's hoping the same for the former Colts QB now as well. Sticking with a recap from the high school football weekend, there was plenty of web gyms to go around during week 1. Let's take a look at our top 3 from 23 from last Friday. Starting it off with number 3, Centennial senior DJ Adams takes the handoff from Max Ritchie, hurdling a defender for some extra yards. One more look. That's pretty impressive. That would set up a score. We go to number 2, junior defensive end Colby Miller for Shafter. He picks this one off of Lions quarterback Adrian Mercado. Speed this thing up. He's taking it all the way to the house. And now our top play of the night, number 1. Look at this spectacular catch from Bobby Barraza of Bakersfield Christian. He looks like OBJ with that one. There are times in sports when a story off the field takes precedent over the story on the field. Centennial High School had a full showing of that on Friday night when they honored perhaps their biggest fan ever. David Marcus was known to many as Mr. Bakersfield. His spirit and his fandom for Bakersfield sports, and particularly Centennial High School, was evident. David passed away on June 28th. On Friday night, the school he loved honored him in a touching way. They placed a decal on the back of their helmets with his face on it. A DM was placed on the 50-yard line, so he's always with the team, and his sister was there to conduct the coin toss. And then everyone gathered together, putting 2 thumbs up for him, his signature pose.
David was what we called our super fan. He was here at every athletic event, supporting the kids, supporting Centennial, and the kids and the staff really love David. There'll never ever be another David Marcus. As a matter of fact, as I drove the truck out here tonight, it hit me at one point that I won't be seeing David tonight for the first time since I've been at Centennial.
An awesome way to remember David. That'll do it for 23 ABC Sports this morning. I'm Matt Lively. Have a great day, everyone.
And over in Paradise, the high school there, the Bobcats missed the playoffs for reasons out of their control after the deadly campfire destroyed the town of Paradise in a span of 2.5 weeks last November. Well, the fire left all but 3 of the town's football players homeless, but on Friday, spirits were high. The Paradise community came together for the team's first game since the fires tore through their town. The Bobcats played the Williams High School Yellow Jackets at home in the town of 27,000, which is said to love its football and shuts down every Friday during football season. Well, this week in particular, it was something really special because the normal attendance for Friday night football at PHS is anywhere between 2,000 and 2,500, but school officials said Friday's crowd swelled to at least 5,000. A really special night for them.
Love that. Still to come on 23 ABC, new and returning students waking up to endless possibilities as they get ready for the first day of school. We'll have more coming up.
And as the wildfires devastate the Amazon, we'll tell you which former Titanic star is pledging millions to try and save it. 5:28. This is 23 ABC.
Live from downtown Bakersfield, 23 ABC News starts now.
It is back to school time for those pursuing higher education. We'll turn the lights on and tell you how CSUB and BC are welcoming the students back.
And a labor shortage in the farming industry throughout the state. More on how this could impact our produce.
And a good morning once again. Thanks for staying with 23 ABC News at 5:30. I'm Mike Hart.
I'm Danielle Kernkamp. Let's bring in Chief Meteorologist Elena Rusk. Let's talk about weather because everyone's freaking out about certain Star Wars
Well,
things
you're sitting
right
there
now.
freaking out nothing. The new trailer's supposed to drop.
You guys are going to say
just
you
dropped
weren't
5 minutes
freaking
ago.
out.
Yeah.
They're like literally the definition of freaking out.
Do you mind? I'm trying to listen to this.
I know you are. I mean, seriously.
No, I'm very excited because
Rise of Skywalker.
unpopular opinion. Oh, maybe it is a popular opinion. I did not like the last one, so I'm really expecting a lot of
Well, I
redemption
mean,
out of this
at
one.
least you've seen some of them.
Wow, you're going to call me out on the show?
Yes, I am. Call has been made.
Alyssa watched him.
Call has been made.
apparently.
Busy signal, dial tone right here.
I'll watch.
That's okay. I've seen
watch
them
one
each
of
like
them.
20 times, so I make it for you.
right.
Let's talk about the weather because it's hot and dry out there. High pressure is building, and ABC News is owned by Disney, so I'm expecting us to be able to show that trailer for you if you don't
would
have
hope.
it. I just retweeted it at Elena23ABC if you want to just ditch the weather right now and go watch it at this immediate moment. We're at 77 right now, some high thin clouds coming through. No rain in those clouds, and the clouds are clearing out around lunchtime. Mostly sunny this afternoon, and 102. Air quality remains unhealthy for sensitive groups. As for traffic, no crashes to report, but coming up, we will talk about that major construction causing some slowing for 2 months to come.
Well, today, Cal State Bakersfield and Bakersfield College will be welcoming thousands of new and returning students as classes officially begin. Cal State handing out free coffee and donuts this morning to mark the beginning of the fall semester and to help students wake up and to get back in the swing of things. The rest of the week has events that include free meals on Taco Tuesday tomorrow, free popcorn on Wednesday, and of course the big Runner Luau Friday. There's plenty of chances for students to get involved and get to know the campus this week. For a full list, you can go to our website, turnto23.com. And the Renegades will be serving up some free donuts for students this morning and for students who still have not finished their back to school shopping. BC will be holding a school supply giveaway today from 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. And you can escape the heat on campus. They'll have free drinks available from noon to 2.
And for all you BC students getting ready for that first day back, don't forget that you can get a free ride to campus courtesy of Kern Transit. For the second year in a row, the Kern Transit will be offering free rides to all enrolled Bakersfield College students. Riders need a valid student ID on all 100 numbered routes. The free services will continue through the end of finals on Saturday, December 14th. Kern Transit services students from as far as Tehachapi, Delano, and Fraser Park.
With the new start of the semester also comes the start of a new counselor training clinic at CSUB. Starting today, the new clinic will be open to the entire community, offering low-cost individual, couple, family, and group counseling services to members of all ages. The clinic will be under the supervision of Director Dr. Richard Zamora and run by advanced graduate students. Counseling costs $25 for the first session, $15 thereafter, but no clients ever turned away for being unable to pay. Counseling sessions are by appointment only. You can make those by dialing 654-3402.
There's a new type of physical therapy in town, and it focuses on biohacking to help you get stronger.
23 ABC's Daniela Garrido joining us live this morning to explain what it is and how it works. Daniela?
That's right. If you've ever wondered how you can biohack your body to gain some skeletal strength, well, right here at OsteoStrong in Bakersfield, we're showing you exactly how we can do that. So we're here with Vikram Deal, and he is the owner here at OsteoStrong, and you kind of showed us a couple of the machines, and this one specifically is for postural growth.
Right.
And which is something I feel like I need, because if you guys don't know, I'm pretty short. And second, I actually have scoliosis.
Yep.
So that's something that when I was younger, I had to deal with. So how does this machine work, and how do we get stronger?
So what this machine's going to do is, and we'll actually do a demonstration live if you're okay with that.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm going to have you do is actually bend your knees, roll your shoulders back, and you're going to grab the bars. Let's go back right about there. Nice and comfortable?
Yeah.
So you're going to squeeze right here like you're holding an apple, and you're going to slowly lift up. And so what we're doing is we're actually putting pressure from, keep your eyes forward and lift, and keep breathing. So we're actually putting pressure from the back of the head all the way to the bottom of the feet. We're compressing the spine. So you're actually compressing the spine right now with 180 pounds of force. Keep breathing nice and comfortably. And let's go ahead and slowly release. Just go ahead and bend your knees and just let go of the machine. So we just did 1.7 multiples of your body weight.
Whew.
Yeah.
That was hard.
Yeah, and it's not supposed to be super easy. It's quick, but you'll feel it, right? You're not going to be sore. You're not going to sweat, which is why you're wearing the attire you're wearing.
Yeah.
It's not like a gym. But this machine takes 2.5 multiples of body weight. So most people can get to that within 3 to 5 sessions.
And so who is this machine aimed at? Is it for a specific person that's going through something?
It's for everybody.
Okay.
We really don't believe that these products are for people based off of age. Like, so I'm 37, I have osteopenia, which means that I have bone loss.
Okay.
So this is for people who want to play sports. We have athletes, we have elderly, deconditioned people, and we just have people of all ages coming in who want to be healthier.
Great.
They want to be stronger, they want to have a better posture, they want to get rid of, scoliosis or things like that.
Ooh, I definitely feel like I worked out. I feel it like in the back, on my back. But for now, we're live in Bakersfield. Daniela Garrido, 23 ABC News, connecting you.
In your Ag Report, a crippling labor shortage tied to immigration restrictions is forcing farmers in the state to rethink the way they run their business.
This is just not a San Diego issue. This is California and the entire country.
It's an industry worth $1.8 billion in crops, but the lack of workers is driving it in a different direction. Eric Larson with the San Diego Farming Bureau says there's a labor shortage of roughly 25%, and he says that's a direct impact of new immigration regulations.
We've not had real immigration reform that allowed more foreign-born workers to come into this country for a long time, 40 plus years. And so what's happened is the population of farm workers has diminished over that time. So we have this continuing shortage of labor that gets worse year after year.
Larson says if these shortages continue, consumers won't see a lack of fruits or vegetables, but they will notice their produce is coming from foreign countries. Right now, revisions are being worked on for the H-2A visa, intended to make it easier for guest workers to work temporarily in agriculture. But experts say this program's best suited for large farms, not smaller farming communities.
In other ag news, Mexican tomato growers and the U.S. Commerce Department have struck a deal for a new tomato suspension agreement. This 5-year deal enters a public comment period and goes into effect September 19th. Now, the deal will apparently suspend the anti-dumping investigation that was reactivated back in May after the Commerce Department pulled out of the 2013 agreement in response to complaints from domestic growers. The new suspension agreement includes mandatory quality inspections and increases the floor prices on Mexican tomatoes.
Wind and solar are two of the fastest growing industries, and Tehachapi's largest wind and solar company needs more employees to keep up with their demand. World's Wind and Solar has been in Tehachapi for 15 years, and they say business is booming. Buddy Cummings is the chief executive officer. He says his company needs to hire 40 more employees to keep up with demand. In this week's all-new Kern Back in Business segment, we take a look at all the different job openings coming out of Tehachapi and how you can apply.
Bring people in who just have a good attitude, a strong work ethic, and know how to work safe. If you can prove that out in about 90 days, 30, 60, 90 days, we'll then invest in you for weeks and train you to be a technician. And at that point, you get a substantial raise.
You can watch that full Kern Back in Business segment this morning at 6:45.
A local teacher who's drawn thousands of views on social media with his remix to Lizzo's Truth Hurts is headed to the Big Apple today.
So time for back to school. Woo! I just took a placement test, turns out I'm 100% ready, even when I'm acting crazy.
There you go. Third grade teacher Josh King of Independence Elementary School will be featured on Strahan and Sarah today, right here on 23 ABC. The show apparently reached out to him after seeing the remix. You can watch it right here at noon. Strahan and Sarah, 23 ABC. Let's bring in Elena and take a look outside right now.
A video never gets old. I'd rather watch that than talk about this weather because it's gross for another day. Bad air quality, 100s out there. You see our roof camera is completely calm and quiet, but once we start getting that sunrise, we're gonna have some fantastic colors out there because some high clouds are coming through out of what was once Tropical Storm Ivo. It's now a remnant low, spinning harmlessly out to sea, but as I was telling you last week, it would send some clouds through this morning, and here they are. 70s for most locations, still 81 in Maricopa and Mojave, 60s in the Tehachapi area and down into Pine Mountain Club, but that's just for now. As we heat up later today, more triple digits. Fourth day in a row for this current heat wave, and this 102 in Bakersfield is the 33rd day of 100 so far this year. 33 is the average that we get, and there's still more to come, so another hotter than average summer for us. 90s in the Kern River Valley, 80s in those South Mountains down into the desert. No surprise to see widespread 100s there today.
Still to come on 23 ABC, Target is set to open new stores within the stores. We'll tell you about the deal that it just struck with Disney.
And they call it puppy love, don't they? Yeah, we'll take a look at the first trailer for the Lady and the Tramp remake. A lot of remakes this year. You know yeah, 541. It's 23 ABC.
Welcome back. Let's talk about traffic, and thankfully, nothing to talk about. Construction continues along the 58 in Tehachapi, also here in the heart of town, as you know. Coming down to street level, the overnight construction along the 99 has wrapped up. Heading into our street level view, everything looks fine. But keep in mind, we do have that major construction happening that will shut down that northbound 99 ramp to Rosedale Highway / 24th Street. And this is supposed to start today. They've pushed it back until next Tuesday, so after Labor Day, but it will be closed for 55 days. So your detour will be to get off at California, go north on Oak Street, and then reconnect at 24th and go northbound 99 from there, or keep traveling along Rosedale Highway in either direction. Just be patient because the northbound 99 will not be shut down, but that ramp will be.
There are new developments in the case against disgraced movie producer Harvey Weinstein. Here's a preview of what's happening on an all-new Court TV.
I'm Vinny Politan. Coming up today on Court TV, huge developments in the criminal case against movie mogul Harvey Weinstein. He's expected in court on a new indictment, updated charges in that case. Plus, he wants the entire trial, which is now scheduled for September, moved out of New York City. We'll have all the latest developments today on Court TV.
Leonardo DiCaprio's new environmental fund is pledging $5 million to help save the Amazon rainforest from wildfires. The Leonardo DiCaprio Foundation, founded 21 years ago, was folded into a new organization